Story. A shadow over the sands. The sun was leaning toward the horizon over the Eagle Desert, that vast stretch where nature felt like a test of hearts before it tested bodies. It was said that every traveler there saw something no one else could see, something that tested their courage or revealed their fears. Salem, a young traveler, was crossing the desert alone in search of his father, who had disappeared 2 years earlier. All his father left behind was a short message: "If I am delayed, know that the truth is not in the cities, but in the desert." No one knew where he went after that. As Salem guided his camel across the quiet sands, he noticed a long shadow moving at an unnatural speed. It looked like a person, yet left no footprints, as if it floated above the sands. Salem pulled the reins and felt a strange mix of curiosity and fear. "Must be a mirage," he whispered. But the shadow suddenly stopped. Then it turned, directly toward Salem. A chill crawled down his spine. The shadow had no clear face, but he could feel its gaze. Then it vanished. As night fell, Salem lit a small fire beside a large rock to shield himself from the cold. At night, the desert was another world. The stars glowed as if whispering secrets, and the wind carried sounds whose sources were impossible to guess. While turning his father's letter in his hands, he heard footsteps behind him, slow, heavy, deliberate. He turned quickly and saw the same shadow from earlier, but it wasn't a shadow anymore. It was a man with torn, ancient clothing and a mysterious face. The man spoke in a soft voice. "I knew you would come, Salem." Salem froze. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" The man stepped closer, his eyes glowing like tiny embers. "I am your father's guide, and I swore to guard his secret until you arrived." Salem jumped to his feet. "Where is my father? Is he alive? Tell me." The man pointed toward the eastern part of the desert, where darkness swallowed the horizon. "Your father entered the Valley of Shadows, a place from which no one returns the same." Then, with a sorrowful tone, he added, "But he did not go to perish. He went to save something greater." Before Salem could ask more, the man's body began to fade, turning back into a shadow. His final words were, "You will see the truth when you arrive, if you have the courage." At dawn, Salem headed east. The deeper he went, the heavier the sand felt beneath his steps, as though the desert itself resisted him. After long hours, he reached a massive chasm in the ground, a dark gate that devoured the light. The Valley of Shadows. He climbed down carefully. With every step, he heard an eerie echo like distant human voices, as if the valley whispered names he had never heard. Deep inside, he saw a faint light coming from a small cave. His heart raced as he approached. At the entrance, he saw an elderly man sitting beside a dim flame. The man wore an old cloak, and on his wrist was the same bracelet Salem had seen his father wear all his life. Salem's lips trembled. "Father?" The man lifted his head slowly. Time seemed to have weighed on his soul more than on his body. When he saw his son, he gave a weak but proud smile. "I knew. You would find me one day." Salem ran to him and embraced him, feeling years of worry collapse all at once. His father spoke faintly. "I have been fighting an ancient curse. The shadows of the desert that haunt anyone who seeks their secret. I didn't want you to follow me, but fate is stronger than our wishes." Salem asked anxiously, "Can we leave?" "We'll go home together." His father looked toward the entrance of the cave where darkness swirled like smoke. "I can leave, but the shadows I fought will leave with me." It must end here, and you must live." "No," Salem cried. "I won't leave you." But the ground began to shake, and wind roared through the valley, as if the shadows realized they were losing. His father rose with difficulty and placed a trembling hand on Salem's shoulder. "I have seen the future in this valley. You are the one who will carry the truth, not me." With the last of his strength, he pushed Salem out of the cave just as the rocks collapsed, sealing it forever. Salem walked out of the valley in silence, tears streaming down his face. But when he stepped into the open desert, he noticed something. The mysterious shadow was no longer watching him, and the desert felt calmer, as if relieved. He took out his father's letter and found new words, written on the back words that hadn't been there before. "The truth is not in the cities nor in the desert. The truth lies in the brave heart that faces the shadows." Salem smiled through his sorrow and continued across the sands, finally realizing that his father's journey had been far greater than he ever imagined, and that his own journey had just begun.